from Ali, taking you through the stories people are talking about and sharing around the world on NewsFeed today. Pakistan's former cricket captain and the playboy turned politician takes on the establishment in tomorrow's general election. Like taking candy from a baby, or so it would seem, does this viral video tell the whole story? What happens when a social media star puts his likeness on a 500-year-old building without permission?
He's literally going 1 mile per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone. I mean...
And a bored cop has some fun with an unexpected roadhog. Well, top of our news feed, tomorrow's election in Pakistan. Will the playboy turned politician and cricket legend Imran Khan upset the political establishment? Or can Nawaz Sharif's party bounce back from his corruption charge and imprisonment? Nabila has the rundown of the main contenders.
July 25th will only be the second time Pakistan manages to transfer power from one civilian government to another. Here are the main players battling for the big prize. The PMLN won the 2013 election by a landslide and remained in power until 2018. It was founded in 1993 under the leadership of Nawaz Sharif, who began his political career in the 70s and rose to prominence under General Zia-ul-Haq's dictatorship in the 1980s. In July 2017, Sharif was banned for life from holding public office or his party's leadership position. He has been sentenced to 10 years in jail for corruption in the Panama Papers case and is currently behind bars. The PMLN ruled the country 3 times, but only completed its constitutional 5-year term once. Sharif's previous 2 terms in office were short-lived, ending amid damaging corruption charges in 1993 and through a bloodless military coup in 1999. However, he still calls the shots in the party and holds the title of Qaid, or leader. The party is now led by his younger brother Shahbaz Sharif, a 3-time chief minister of Punjab who has a strong grip on the province. Though the PMLN has a solid vote bank in parts of KP and Balochistan provinces, it's Punjab that is the traditional game changer. This year's election is said to be a neck-and-neck battle between PTI and PMLN. The PTI is led by Imran Khan, the former cricketer turned politician. He's confident of a victory based on a populist anti-corruption campaign. His political journey started in 1996 when he launched Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf with a demand for justice and accountability in the governing system. The 2013 elections were a turning point for the PTI. It emerged as the second largest party after the PMLN in terms of votes, and also managed to form the government in the rest of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. The PTI is tipped as one of the favorites in this election. It enjoys a huge support base in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, parts of Karachi, and poses threat to the PMLN in Punjab. The PPP is a major political player in Pakistan and has been in power several times. It was founded by former Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto in 1967 to promote an egalitarian democracy. He was accused of election rigging in 1977 and toppled in a bloodless coup by then Army Chief General Zia-ul-Haq. Bhutto was hanged in a controversial murder trial in 1979. His daughter Benazir Bhutto took over the party and became the first female Prime Minister of Pakistan and the Muslim world. She ruled the country twice but failed to complete a constitutional term. Both times her government was dismissed over corruption charges. She was assassinated in 2007 and the party is now led by her son Bilawal Bhutto Zardari and his father Asif Ali Zardari. This will be Bilawal's first election as he fights to regain the clout the party once enjoyed. The PPP has strong support in Sindh from where the Bhutto family hails, but is facing a tough fight from other contenders, including the PTI. The Muttahida Qawmi movement was founded by Altaf Hussain and rose to power in the 1980s. Its voter base was Urdu-speaking people who had migrated to Pakistan at the time of independence in 1947. The party has dominated Karachi, the country's largest city and economic backbone, for more than 3 decades. With a history steeped in violence, the MQM has faced a severe government crackdown in recent years, and its leader has been living in England in self-imposed exile since the early 90s. The once powerful group is now divided into several factions. For the first time in many years, Karachi is up for grabs with several parties in contention. Which of the parties can best mobilize its support base?
Let's take a look at what else is trending on social media. Now, this video has been watched millions of times since it was posted over the weekend. Yes, you saw that right. The guy in the Oakley sunglasses seems to steal that little kid's baseball. This all happened at Wrigley Field in Chicago when the Cubs were playing. Now, when the footage first dropped, the internet was as indignant as you can expect, going as far to say that this was one moment that was somehow symbolic of America under Donald Trump. But as it turns out, the kid has a ball from the innings, and as you can see from these pictures, he had one signed by Javi Baez. So let's get the facts right before reacting, people. The singer R. Kelly has answered all those allegations that he's a sexual predator by releasing a 19-minute-long track on SoundCloud. It's called I Admit, and I admit it's terrible. And I've listened to it, so you don't have to. Now, it's wrong on so many levels. In it, Kenny absolves himself of any kind of wrongdoing and even goes as far as to blame the parents of some of the girls. Now, we're not going to give it any airplay, but we will give you one of the funniest tweets in response. It comes from the comedian Robin Thede, who posted, "Odd for R. Kelly to make a 19-minute song when he usually avoids anything over 18. Now, a video of a 10-year-old African-American boy being restrained by white police officers in the US state of Georgia has gone viral. Now, on first watch, it looks pretty bad, but cops have released a different video which they say tells a different story. Take a look and tell us what you think.
I'm sorry.
Yes, understand.
Yes, sir.
You stay home to get out. How he got? You didn't get out his back. Get out his back.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead. That's not what happened. That's not what his.
Stop now!
Don't do that. Don't. Where am I, officer?
Okay.
Don't do that.
Yes, sir.
Back up. Back up now. Everybody back up. Back up. Stop. Stop. Well, back up. Back up. Back up. You're not going to jail.
I want to go to
You're
jail.
not. Stop.
I'm sending it to your officer.
Okay?
I'm sorry.
You need to, okay? I understand.
Yes, sir.
You don't run a police officer.
Okay. Can I have your phone? Because I would have called Peter to bail you out. When you get out, Daddy.
Now, the mistreatment of domestic workers in Lebanon is in the spotlight after a video of two of them being beaten on the streets went viral. Now, in the past months, there have been protests calling for kafala, which is the system for managing migrant workers in the Gulf and the Middle East, to be abolished.
Two Kenyan domestic workers were beaten on the streets of Lebanon in June 2018 by a military officer and passers-by after the officer hit the woman with his car. The two women are known as Rose and Shamila. The attackers were arrested, but before the assault case came to trial, Shamila was deported from the country in mid-July. But this is not the first incident of shocking domestic worker abuse in Lebanon. Some employers verbally and physically abuse their workers, withhold salaries, seize their identity documents, deny time off, and ban them from going outside.
They treat me very, very, very badly. They don't give me food. I work from morning to morning, no sleep.
There are an estimated 250,000 migrant domestic laborers, mostly from Sri Lanka, Ethiopia, Kenya, the Philippines, and Nepal. And they aren't covered by labor protection laws. Lebanon operates on the kafala or sponsorship system, which some critics have called modern-day slavery. The system gives employees legal control over their workers. Without the employer's permission, workers cannot change or quit jobs or leave the country. If a worker leaves a job without permission, the employer has the power to cancel his or her residence visa, and the worker could be arrested.
Madam Darab, Mr. Walidik sex Mike Anna Mabad sex Ali Hue Darab. I go police back come Mr. Take Mr.
Abuse of domestic workers is so rife that some countries have banned its citizens from working in Lebanon.
Tinatabet isto gel. TinataBet. أنا أشتغل شوي تاكل شوي ما بتاكل كلهم برا تاكل أنا ما بدي تاكل أنا نو تاكل أنا نايمة نو شفتهم.
Migrant workers who are brave enough to press charges are often accused of absconding or theft, and Human Rights Watch found that Lebanon's judiciary fails to hold employers accountable. The results can be deadly. Between 2008 and 2017, the death rate of domestic workers in Lebanon doubled from 1 death to 2 deaths a week. Deaths are mainly caused by suicides or botched attempts to escape employment from high-rise buildings. In 2015, a group of migrants launched the Domestic Workers Union of Lebanon, but the group is technically illegal. 2 of its most powerful Nepalese leaders were deported from the country in 2016. Meeting or organizing in person can be difficult and dangerous. So the union and informal communities of domestic workers use messaging apps like WhatsApp to empathize with one another, organize, or to escape abuse.
شخص ما له حق يظهر وحده، ما له حق ياخذ نهار راحة بالأسبوع برات المنزل اللي هو عم بيشتغل فيه، ما له حق يعني في كثير أشخاص ما عندهم حرية التواصل مع أهله.
But will the condition of workers really change unless the law does in Lebanon?
Okay, around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Tuesday. And more than 50 people have been killed in wildfires just outside of Athens. They're the worst fires to hit Greece in more than a decade. A dry winter and now a sweltering summer have turned the country into a tinderbox. Authorities have been asking for urgent help from the international community. 9 Australians involved in the Thai cave rescue have been given bravery awards at a ceremony in Canberra. One of them was Dr. Richard Harris, an anaesthetist who had the job of sedating the boys before they were taken out of the cave one by one.
You know, I've never done it in the back of a cave on malnourished, skinny, dehydrated Thai kids before, so that for me was the most frightening part of the week.
And these women are protesting the visit of American Vice President Mike Pence to Philadelphia, and they've taken inspiration from Margaret Atwood's dystopian novel The Handmaid's Tale by dressing as the eponymous characters. They were from an anti-fascist group and carried banners that read things like free press and fake president and freedom of religion is freedom from religion. And Nusret Gökçe, better known as Salt Bey, has been fined by Istanbul's Culture and Tourism Department. He opened a new steakhouse and had the gall to put his face on the side of the Grand Bazaar, which is nearly 600 years old. There were, of course, complaints, so the sign was taken down. Now, some pretty classy cars were on display in the City of Lights at the weekend. Take a look.
We had a lot of pleasant comments, a lot of thumbs up as we drove by. We don't drive very fast, so people took photos of us, asked us to stop for them to film us. It's really a huge moment of sharing and community.
It's almost intoxicating because we are not used to see this many vintage cars at once. Throughout half a day, it really seems like Paris went back into the past, went back 40 or 50 years into the past. It's very amusing.
And in Tuesday's Animals Doing Stuff, here's a good example of how bored some local cops get when they're out on patrol in Florida in the US.
You shouldn't be out on the roadways to begin with. I tried to talk to him, and he snapped at me. I don't know what this guy's deal is. Come on, Grandpa, I got places to be. Everybody wants to drive slow with a cop car behind them.
And that is your lot from the NewsFeed team. Reach out to us with your questions, comments, complaints and suggestions. I'm at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on Twitter, YouTube and Facebook. Follow, subscribe and add. See you again tomorrow.